Yeah, you'll be fine. Yeah. us pray. Accept, O Lord, our thanks and praise for all that you have done for us. We thank you for the splendor of the whole creation, for the beauty of this world, for the wonder of life, and for the love of wisdom. We thank you for the blessing of family and friends, teachers and classmates, and for the loving care which surrounds us on every side. We thank you for setting us at tasks which demand our best efforts, and for leading us to accomplishments which satisfy and delight us. We thank you also for those disappointments and failures that lead us to acknowledge our dependence on you alone. Above all, we thank you for your Son, Jesus Christ, for the truth of his word and the example of his life, for his steadfast obedience by which he overcame temptation, for his dying through which he overcame death, and for his rising to life again, in which we are raised to the life of your kingdom. Grant us the gift of your Spirit, that we may know him and make him known, and through him at all times and in all places may give thanks to you in all things. Amen. Please be seated.
Welcome to the 2025 Highlands Latin School graduation ceremony. We gather today in gratitude to honor the remarkable class of 2025 and to give thanks to the Lord who has guided them and all of us in the pursuit of the good, the true, and the beautiful. This is a moment of joy, reflection, and reverence. 25 years ago, Mrs. Lowe founded this school with a vision grounded in truth, classical wisdom, shaped by humility and faith. Though she is no longer with us, her spirit is deeply present. It's present in the lives of our students, in the love of our teachers, and in the beauty of ceremonies like this. She would be proud of what has endured, and even more proud of the young men and women that we celebrate today. Graduation is a milestone, but not an ending. It's a commissioning. It's a sending forth. And this class is prepared. They have read great books, and they have had great discussions, wrestled with the great ideas. They have been formed by discipline and wonder and prayer and perseverance. They are ready to serve, they're ready to lead, and they're ready to build the lives ordered towards truth and goodness in whatever calling God has placed before them. As we begin this celebration, it's my honor and it's my privilege to introduce Marley Presser. She has been a student at HLS since kindergarten. For 13 years, she has grown within this community. She knows this place, not just as her school, but I hope as her home. And today, she speaks not only for herself, but for her class of young men and women who have walked this journey with her. Please welcome Marley Presser to the microphone.
In the Divine Comedy, Dante says, "I became like one who yearns for more than he has." Here in paradise, Dante desires more, something greater than himself. Highlands Latin School has taught all of its students how to see heaven's light in all things and the realization that we are made for more. In our education, we climb each grade, yearning for, as Dante says, more than we had. At HLS, our lessons are about truly good things, like faith and love, virtues that are gifts from our God. In these studies, we are looking at things higher than the things of this world. This studying requires another virtue, hope. Holding on to hope will reveal the greater purposes that we are made for. As I reflect on the past lessons I have learned, I can distinctly remember one on Chesterton's orthodoxy. Chesterton says, "It is possible that God says every morning, 'Do it again' to the sun." He explains that the repetitive things in this life may seem boring or unexceptional. However, it may be that God's hand in our day-to-day lives is a miracle and a wonderful promise. Younger students, as you journey on in your education, Know that while your studies may seem monotonous and tiring, your studies are meaningful and a blessing to be afforded the opportunity to study daily, just like the day-to-day sunrise. You hold your education in your own hands, and the things we work to understand are good lessons for the rest of our lives. Let us cast our vision on heaven, and we will see God working in all things, like in the sunrise or in our studies. For the class of 2025, our studies at HLS are complete. We are pursuing higher learning, careers, and purposes, having refined our gifts from our education here at Highlands. Over the past 4 years, my peers have held me to a higher standard in the classroom, demonstrating their incredible knowledge of various subjects. I know that Max McGarr and Jacob Lane would always tag team literature answers, and Molly Louise Denley would wisely lead debates in American history class. These graduates possess gifts in the classroom, but they are also extremely talented in their daily lives. We have poets, musicians, athletes, business owners, and more. If I could describe our class in one word, I would use dedicated. Ever since I can remember, when this class has had a responsibility or a job to do, they did it with extreme care and dedication. Class of 2025, as you step into upcoming opportunities, I charge you. Desire something greater than yourselves. Use your various talents and skills, your care and dedication to get the most out of your education and careers. Today, you may feel that the future is uncertain, but if we hold on to hope, we can believe that God has made us for things greater than we know. We have studied the works of Shakespeare and Tolstoy, seen the ways of chemistry and physics in the world, and read the wisdom of Caesar and Boethius together. Even having accomplished the difficult task of Highlands education, we still have more to do. And if we do all things in faith, hope, and love, we know that all things will work together for good. I would like to sincerely thank everyone at Highlands Latin School who has poured into all of us. To the Lowe's and Mr. Wheatley, you all have given us so much over the years and have prepared us for the rest of our lives. I know I speak for the entire graduating class when I say thank you for that gift. To the administration, thank you for fostering a community where love and compassion are held the highest. To all of our teachers over the last 13 years, you have contributed to who we are today. We thank you for all of the lessons you have taught us. And finally, to our parents and families, we thank you so much for placing us in this community. We thank you for the many rides to sports practices, the many nights spent helping us study for exams, and all of the days you have given us encouragement and unconditional love. We have gotten to where we are because of you all. Education is one of the greatest things we can commit our lives to in this world. HLS has taught us how to learn well. As we step out of this building today, having graduated and completed all of our present work, continue to want something greater. Cast your eyes on heaven and let heaven's light reflect on all that you do. You will grow in love, patience, and compassion. I want to close with one final quote from Chesterton. He says, "Can we hate the world enough to change it, and yet love it enough to think it worth changing?" I charge you all to see the world not only as it is, but as it should be. Want more for our world. And if we do this and act in Christ-like love and kindness, we can cast our view of heaven on the earth. Graduates, you are made for something greater than you know. And when we believe this, we can show heaven's reflection in all that we do. Thank you. stay, on you stay, on you stay, on you stay. We dones peccata mundi dona eis requiem, dona eis requiem, sempiternam, sempiternam.
Before we begin, I just want to take a moment to explain why we do this, why year after year we pause to speak individually about each graduating senior. At Highlands Latin School, we've never believed that graduation should be just a blur of names or a rush to the finish line. For 25 years, we've taken time to speak about each student because each student matters to us. These speeches are a way of saying you are seen, you are known, and you are loved. This class is not just a group of graduates to us. It's a collection of stories and souls of young men and women who have grown up before our eyes. And so today, we do what we've always have done. We speak their names, we tell a part of their story, and we send them off with gratitude and with a blessing. So, as we start, we're all ready? I think they're nervous. I know I am. All right. Catherine Elizabeth Baum. Catherine started at Highlands Latin School in the first grade. Her older siblings, Josh and Lydia, have already graduated. For the first 10 years of her life, Catherine was the youngest in her family. That changed when her parents adopted Ansley, her youngest sister. Catherine has written beautifully about how hard that transition was, not being the baby anymore, but also about how quickly she came to love her little sister. She embraced the challenge and learned something along the way, that pressure and anxiety ease when you care for others first. Catherine has always been a big personality and a big presence at HLS. With Catherine, you will hear her laugh down the hallway, and when you step into the room, she will flash a sheepish smile and that she is always, always joyful. Catherine, over the last 4 years, has become the type of person that you just want to be around. She laughs easily, and her uplifting spirit is actually contagious. HLS will not quickly replace the joy and energy and the love that Catherine brings to school each and every day. In the classroom, Catherine's a determined and hard worker. The academics hasn't always come easy, but Catherine will never quit. She will put in the time and effort to meet every standard set before her. Catherine showed the same type of grit and toughness on both the field hockey and track teams, where she competed at the varsity level for 4 years. This year, Catherine served as a field hockey captain and was named the first team All-State in field hockey. If you've seen her play, you know that Catherine is tenacious and unrelenting, and she is arguably the fastest field hockey player that I've ever seen on the field. If she gets past you, you are not catching Catherine. This year, Catherine was selected by the HLS faculty to serve as a minister of culture for the House of Anjou. Her job was to bring energy, help organize big events, and be the house's biggest cheerleader, which was not a hard job for Catherine at all. She is an amazing minister of culture. Next year, Catherine plans to attend Samford University, where she'll major in nutrition. Thank you, Dr. and Mrs. Baum, for the many years of support and for sharing Catherine with us. Congratulations, Catherine. I'd like to see them. There we go. Asher Daniel Bittner. Asher started at HLS in kindergarten. He is one of 5 Bittners, with his older sisters, Abby, Ellie, and Mezzi, already graduated. Asher and his identical twin brother, Benjamin, have always been a little difficult for me to tell apart. As a matter of fact, I'm not really positive that was Asher who stood up right there. But I'm fairly sure that it was. I'm fairly sure. because Asher is serious. He likes structure, and he holds himself to a high standard. This does not mean Asher is not fun or well-liked. It just means that Asher, from a very early age at HLS, has always been great at knowing when it's time to work and when it's time to play. And when it is time to work, Asher never shies away from the hard work. Asher is an outstanding athlete. His work in the classroom is impeccable. He never forgets an assignment or a due date, and he's always prepared for a test. He's rather quiet and reserved at school, but not when he's asking a clarifying question or seeking further instruction. When Asher speaks, the class will listen. If Asher comes to me with a concern, I'm going to look into it rather quickly. I trust Asher's judgment and insight. Asher and his brother are both outstanding long-distance runners, and running is a sport which few people really enjoy because it involves discipline and a willingness to be uncomfortable. In the summer of 2022, Asher and his youth group spent time painting mobile homes in an underprivileged community in Kansas City. Asher wrote about how his personal accommodations were far from ideal. Asher toiled in the sun for 10 hours a day, only to return to a hot room in a humble church. But Asher wrote, "I learned how to be completely joyful in the midst of personal discomfort. I love to serve others by giving. I would not change anything from that summer." This really is Asher. No complaints, no regrets. We say a prayer from St. Ignatius every morning at school. We ask ourselves to give and not to count the costs. I think this sums up Asher quite well. He gives and cares very little about how much it costs. Next year, Asher plans to also attend Samford University, where he will channel his focus and discipline to attain a Bachelor's of Science in Architecture. Congratulations, Asher. Benjamin James Bittner. Benjamin started at Highlands Latin School in kindergarten. Benjamin, like his brother, is also a great athlete, and for a very brief season in their life, they both played soccer at HLS, and I had the pleasure of coaching them. I've already admitted I had difficulty telling them apart, but in practice, for a while at least, Benjamin wore blue cleats, and I was saved. Benjamin Blue, easy. I could shout my instructions very confidently. Before it was a JV game, or maybe it was a scrimmage, I can't remember, I was setting up the lineups, and the Bittner boys walked up, and I quickly looked down at their feet, and I saw 4 white cleats. I paused, and then I think it was Asher who said, "Coach, what do you want us to do?" And I said, "Benjamin, I want you to wear blue cleats." But even in this silly reflection, Asher is the one that will usually speak first. Ben is a bit more laid back. Ben is an excellent student as well, always prepared and a top-notch scholar in his own right, but he's a little less intense and, if possible, a bit more quiet than Asher. But Ben does not lack desire or structure or excellence or discipline. As a matter of fact, Ben often just takes on tasks that need to be done without being asked or waiting for instruction. Dr. Scahill wrote a beautiful recommendation recently that captures Ben perfectly. At the boys' retreat in March, the senior boys stay in a house together. It's a real house on top of a hill with a kitchen, a refrigerator, stove, all that stuff, and 17 boys staying in a house for 2 nights. The condition of the house is probably worse than what you're imagining after. But Dr. Scahill wasn't worried at all because he said Ben will probably help me keep it tidy. And sure enough, Dr. Scahill called it. It was Ben. Without instructions, without a plea for help, Ben just started doing the dishes and cleaning up. I'm sorry, Ben, if I outed you to your mom, but Ben can clean. But Ben has really made a habit at HLS of being helpful and always being reliable. Over the past 13 years, we've come to learn that Ben will step up when most people are stepping away. Ben always seems to be there when you need him the most. Mr. and Mrs. Bittner, thank you again, but this time for the many, many years that you've spent entrusting us with your children. It has been our pleasure. Next year, Ben will attend Cedarville University, where he plans to major in economics with the hope of becoming a financial planner someday. Congratulations, Ben. Parker James Boyd. Parker started at HLS in kindergarten as well, a theme. Parker follows his sister Kellen as an HLS graduate and leads the way for his two younger sisters, Logan and Elliot. I recently mentioned to Logan about one of Parker's accomplishments at the boys' retreat, and her response was funny but also typical. She said, "Oh yes, we all know Parker is perfect. Thank you, Mr. Wheatley." But I knew that her words were actually filled with admiration and a deep sense of appreciation for her big brother, who, despite being perfect, remains grounded, humble, kind, and faithful. Parker stands out in virtually everything he does. He's a stellar athlete. Parker's been a 4-year starter on the varsity soccer team. Parker was our center back, and he was as dominant a defensive player in the state of Kentucky that you can imagine. He was recognized by the regional and state coaches, and Parker was selected to the prestigious 7th Region All-Star Soccer Game. A coach asked me after the game one time, "Where will Parker play next year?" And I said, "Wherever there is a piano." He just stared at me. He didn't get it. He's not playing soccer. Parker has run track at HLS. He still holds the school records for both the 100-meter sprint and the 300-meter hurdles. But Parker is an extremely talented musician. He plays the piano, he plays the guitar and the bass, he writes music, he even plays the melodica. And you can look that one up. But Parker plays guitar in an HLS band that's called No Fun Allowed, which I think has something to do with our HLS policies, our dress code, our Blazers first rule, maybe, I don't know. But academically speaking, Parker is also a top scholar on stage here today. He's a distinguished Latin scholar, an excellent writer, a skilled mathematician. Parker really does have it all, and I know that's what makes Logan mad. But Parker's true strength lies in his faith. God has given Parker many gifts, athletic ability, musical talent, and intelligence, but Parker remains humble and grounded. Parker strives to improve those God-given gifts, not for his glory, but to bring others to Christ's glory. Parker can move into so many different types of groups, and it's great to know that his faith will always move with him. Next year, Parker will attend the University of Kentucky on a full tuition presidential scholarship where he plans to major in neuroscience while pursuing a pre-med track. Congratulations, Dr. and Mrs. Boyd. Thank you, Parker. Chloe Calloway Cruz. Chloe started at HLS in the 4th grade. Her younger brother, Carson, will be a junior next year. Chloe has always been a soft-spoken student at HLS. During class, you will see her taking copious notes and organizing her materials meticulously. Chloe is very disciplined and has a toughness that most people do not recognize. On the basketball court, Chloe was a 4-year varsity player, serving as the team captain and the only senior this year. Early in her basketball career, Chloe may not have played as much as she liked, but she did not let that stop her. She continued to practice on her own to raise her skill level. She's a hard worker in practice, always encourages her teammates, and ready to play when her number is called. That takes a lot of toughness and discipline. Chloe is also an entrepreneur. She started her own business, Chloe Calloway Creations, in 9th grade. She makes, markets, and sells hand-knitted blankets. At various community events throughout the year, she runs a small business while she is still in high school, while she still plays basketball. This requires a unique dedication and a discipline. Chloe got some really bad news in 9th grade. She learned that she had a medical condition that would completely alter her diet and change her life. And as a 9th grade girl, Chloe just really wanted to fit in and worried about how such a strict diet and real health concerns would affect her socially. But Chloe did not let that stop her. She picked herself up and with the help of her mom and dad created a game plan to deal with this new challenge. And Chloe tackled it head on and has been doing so valiantly for 4 years without any complaint or a pause or an issue. That is toughness. That is discipline. Chloe appears to be behind the scenes. She's quiet and unassuming, but you can often find her laughing, usually with Callie Smith, in the mornings at school, and I've seen Chloe laughing so hard that she waves me away when I ask what's so funny. Chloe gets the most out of life, but when times get tough, Chloe shows no quit. She tries not to burden others, but she has inspired me because I know some of her challenges, and she's a true fighter. Next year, Chloe will attend Bellarmine University, where she plans to major in nursing. Congratulations, Mr. and Mrs. Cruz, and thank you, Chloe. Please come back and see us. Hannah Gail Davis. Hannah started at Highlands Latin School in the 9th grade and is the big sister to brother Aiden. We often ask prospective students if they have a favorite book. Most applicants can name a book, but if they're very nervous, they might not be able to name anything. But if you ask Hannah if she has a favorite book, you better pull up a chair. She might mention On the Soul and Resurrections by St. Gregory, or Till We Have Faces by C.S. Lewis, or perhaps Jane Eyre by Charlotte Bronte. That was for you, Mr. Yonke. From the moment Hannah started at HLS, she always had a book, but what she really had was a deep hunger for truth and wisdom. But Hannah's head is not in the clouds. She is one of the hardest and most practical scholars at HLS. As a freshman, Hannah took introductory Latin, and as a sophomore took Henley II, which is our second year. She excelled so much in Latin that Miss Beer asked her if she wanted to take AP Latin as a junior, one of the toughest Latin course at HLS. This is a rare academic pathway. It's been done before, but Hannah, through hard work, absolutely fell in love with Latin and simply excelled. Hannah, along with a few of her friends, are very active in the poetry club as well. Hannah says she's never missed a meeting and writes that having an opportunity to read her poetry aloud and to listen to others has made Poetry Club her favorite extracurricular activity at HLS, and she is also the co-editor of the Poetry Club. If you have attended a recent Christmas cantata, Good Friday service, or today, you would have heard Hannah sing. She has a beautiful voice. I know that singing solos is very stressful, but Hannah takes it on because singing is a way that she honors God and graces us. Hannah has gotten a lot out of the HLS education, but Hannah has also given a lot back. Her pursuit of excellence, wisdom, truth, and beauty resonates in the HLS hallways. Her love of the fine arts, scholarly achievements has made HLS a better school. Hannah probably doesn't realize it, but she has helped to shape the culture of this school for the better. The school is so much better with Hannah Davis. Next year, Hannah will attend the University of Cincinnati, where she earned the prestigious Louisa Semple Taft Scholarship for excellence in Latin, and she plans to major in the classics. Thank you, Mr. and Mrs. Davis, for bringing Hannah to HLS 4 years ago. Congratulations, Hannah. Molly Louise Denley. Molly started at Highlands Latin School in the 4th grade. She's the middle child, and her older sister Eliza graduated from HLS a few years ago, and she's the big sister to brother Isaac. Now, there is a stereotype sometimes about middle children being described as overlooked or forgotten, and if you casually observe Molly, you would say that she's quiet, she doesn't ruffle feathers, she's very well respected by teachers and classmates, and goes about her business of being a great student and friend. But what you might overlook is that Molly holds herself to an extremely high standard, a standard that sometimes comes at a price that can be measured with pressure and stress. But Molly hides it and does a great job of it. But if you're observant, you can see it. But Molly also won't sit back and hope that things just get better. She's a doer. Molly will seek answers. She will politely appeal and ask great questions because reaching her high standard matters to Molly. I think that makes her unique. She could certainly lower her standard and decrease her stress, but that is not Molly. Molly also seems to just be very mature and composed and very rational. Like when Dr. Scahill wrote how last year, when these boys were juniors, from the House of David, the boys from the House of David were upset that there were no seconds on the pizza. So they began to scavenge through the trash can. Molly was one of the girls who gifted her pizza to the boys, probably out of disgust of watching them do that. This year, Molly was selected by the HLS faculty to be the parliamentarian for the House of David, where she kept order, organized meetings, and activities for her house. It was a great role for Molly. Molly was also a 4-year field hockey player. She was a team captain this year and has also spent many, many weekends playing field hockey on travel teams. Molly is a 4-year track and field athlete, often competing in the 100, 300-meter hurdles, and she is the first HLS female to compete in the high jump at HLS, I believe, right? And that has encouraged a lot of younger students to take up jumping as well. Next year, Molly plans to attend the University of Kentucky, and she gained admittance to the Lewis Honors College, and she will major in psychology. Thank you, Mr. and Dr. Denley, for your years of support at HLS, and congratulations, Molly. We're going to miss you. Ula Christina Dodd. Ula started at Highlands Latin School in kindergarten. Her older sister, Miriam, graduated from HLS just last year. Mrs. Bramer described Ula as thoughtful, kind, intelligent, and that she was a role model to her peers. Other teachers have almost universally commented how much a pleasure it is to teach Ula. Ula has a personality that is simply welcoming and can light up a room. Ula has a quick wit. She's very sharp on her feet and has a great sense of humor. I walked into her physics class early in the first trimester, and Ula quickly looked at me and said, "Did you see that?" And I said, "See what?" And then she just started smiling at me. I tried to get her to tell me what it was, but no, she wouldn't tell. Ula is also a great athlete. Are you going to tell me now? No? Okay. That would be funny. All right, Ula is a great athlete. She was a nationally ranked squash player when she was in 6th through 9th grade. I asked Ula recently if I could beat her playing squash, and she just laughed and said, "No, I will crush you." And she would, no mercy. A friend asked her to join the HLS track team when she was in the 8th grade, and Ula said, "Sure." And then Ula went on to place in the top 15 in the state in the 100-meter hurdles as an 8th grader who played national ranked squash. Ula comes from a family of lawyers, and Ula believed that she would follow in the family tradition, but instead fell in love with math and science around the 10th grade or so. Ula excelled with Mrs. Bramer in general chemistry and AP chemistry, and also this year in physics. Ula now identifies herself as a strong math and science student. She's on a pathway towards becoming a chemical engineer. Every year there are students who graduate from HLS that cause me to pause and wish we just had a little bit more time, like we just are just now starting to get to know you. And Ula is that type of student. I think she really has come into her own this year, and I'm really excited to see what the next few years will bring for her. Next year, Ula plans to attend the University of Kentucky, where she will major in chemical engineering. Thank you, Mr. and Mrs. Dodd, for entrusting us with Ula for the past 13 years. She's been a joy and a pleasure. Ula, congratulations. We will miss you. Willem Clark Ergel. Willem started at Highlands Latin School in kindergarten. He is the oldest of 4, paving the path for his younger siblings, Ellie, Fletcher, and Caulfield. This past year, Willem joined the varsity soccer team for the first time as a senior. It was surprising because Willem suffered a rather devastating knee injury his sophomore year, a torn ACL, a partial LCL tear, and damage to both menisci. After something like that, you just don't know what to expect. Now, in the classroom, Willem has had his ups and downs like many students, but his teachers all say the same thing. Willem brings joy into every room. In fact, Dr. Scahill wrote, "Willem brings trademark joy to the classroom." And if you know Willem, you know what that trademark joy is like. When Willem first learned that he was going to need surgery in 10th grade, he realized that his track and basketball dreams, for at least that year, were off the table. Willem wrote, "It was the first time I hit rock bottom emotionally." It was hard, actually, to watch Willem at school. He put on a good face, but that trademark joy was missing, but just for a little while. Willem refused to sulk, and instead he rediscovered his love for music and music production. He turned towards graphic design, even experimenting with clothing lines and creative ventures. And most importantly, though, he leaned into his faith. He wrote that the injury left him searching, and that search brought him closer to God. Willem is actually thankful for the injury now. The spirit that Willem has is resilient, reflective, joy-filled, and it carried him all the way to the Kentucky Governor's School for Entrepreneurship last summer, where he began exploring his interest in business and innovation. Willem is the first student from HLS to attend the Kentucky Governor's School for Entrepreneurship. And then there was that July 15th, 7 a.m. practice at Louisville City Soccer Complex this year, where Willem stepped onto the soccer field as a senior. He was all smiles, trademark joy. He was the hardest worker there. Maybe he had something to prove, but he just looked so happy. Willem started all season, and we were blessed to have him. I wish I had him more. Next year, Willem plans to attend Murray State University, where he plans to major in business with a minor in real estate and entrepreneurship. Thank you, Mr. and Mrs. Ergel, for entrusting us with Willem since kindergarten. He's been a joy. Congratulations, Willem. Andrew George Giltner. Andrew began his journey at Highlands Latin School in junior kindergarten. He graduates today following in the footsteps of his older sisters, Laura Rose, and Elizabeth. Andrew is one of a kind, and I mean that in the most endearing way. In a college survey, Andrew described himself as outspoken, funny, and very, very loud. And while this is true, his teachers have a slightly different opinion. They'll say Andrew's insights were among the most valuable in our discussion, or Andrew is always ready to participate, and we really enjoyed Andrew's sense of humor. Andrew often embraces the role of a class comedian, but underneath that, it is a student who truly enriches the lives of others. And while Andrew can be loud at times, behind the scenes there is a much quieter side of Andrew that few get to see. Most afternoons this year, we've noticed after he learned how to take care of the plants for Mr. Hernandez in our school building, Andrew takes this job very seriously. He waters all of the plants. There's no audience. There's no one to impress. There's no jokes to be told. But Andrew just goes about doing great work and caring for the plants in the school. And then there's this biome project that Dr. Darnowski had started, where students created a self-sustaining ecosystem in a mason jar. And Andrew added creek water, twigs, grass, a little bit of soil. They sealed the jar, and then the next few days, Andrew identified a couple snails in the jar, and he named them. And they would laugh about it and joke about it, but every morning, Andrew got to school early, and around 7:10 or so, he would always check on his biome and make observations and notes. There clearly is a softer side to Andrew that he will not admit, and he's probably mad that I'm saying that right now. But there's also a side of Andrew who took the stage at the talent show and delivered 10 minutes worth of speeches that were dad jokes. They were relentless, groan-worthy, and strangely hilarious. Every time you thought Andrew was finished, he would just keep going. Mr. Warren, I think, said it best in the back with me. He said, Andrew really needs to wrap this up. But if he keeps going, it's going to be hilarious. Andrew loves to make people laugh, and he has a big heart. We're going to miss Andrew. Next year, Andrew will attend the University of Kentucky, where he plans to study mechanical engineering. Thank you, Dr. and Mrs. Giltner, for your years of support at Highlands Latin School. It's been our pleasure working with your children. Congratulations, Andrew. Jonathan Charles Harrod. Jonathan started at HLS in kindergarten as well. He is the big brother to Matthew and Elijah. Jonathan has always carried himself with a quiet confidence and a self-assuredness. He stands upright, shoulders back. So when his classmates started calling him Johnny a few years ago, it sort of messed with my Jonathan persona I had. Because Johnny, you see, likes to play some jokes. He's very witty, often sarcastic. He loves to laugh, and others like to laugh with him. But Jonathan arrives to school early, and he never forgets his manners. He's always there every day saying, "Good morning, Mr. Wheatley," or "Thank you," or "How can I help?" He enjoys those deep philosophical questions. Jonathan has a very strong mind and a mind for history, theology, and politics. Outside of the classroom, Jonathan has been a vital part of the HLS drama troupe. He's reliable, carries himself like a professional on stage. I love watching Jonathan perform. In his many roles, I think my favorite was Cogsworth, the clock that was in Beauty and the Beast. Jonathan was the voice of reason and logic, delivering lines with wonderful comedic timing. I think Jonathan is a remarkably talented actor. But when the lights are down and the curtains are closed, we can sometimes catch a glimpse of Johnny. He's hilarious, he's quick-witted. Sometimes he gets in trouble a little bit, but Jonathan is always there to quickly apologize, and all is good. I caught myself calling him Johnny once at school, and I quickly realized that no, we need Jonathan, not Johnny. But in all seriousness, Jonathan is a great friend, he's loyal, and he's a dedicated student at HLS. Jonathan has said that in history courses with Mr. Warren, he has learned that the human race has done some very evil things over the centuries, but that the human heart has boundless capacity for love, goodness, and forgiveness. Jonathan wishes to take his passions for history and politics to someday pursue a law degree, and he wrote that perhaps being a judge would be nice. Judge Jonathan Herod. I would go see that. Next year, Jonathan plans to attend Cedarville University, where he will major in political science. Thank you, Dr. and Mrs. Herod, for 13 great years with Jonathan and with your family. Congratulations, Jonathan. Harper Malloy Hune. Harper began at HLS in 3rd grade. For many years, we weren't quite sure if Harper was just very shy or she didn't like to speak very much. But Mrs. Bramer encouraged her to speak up more in AP Chemistry because she was so academically gifted. Miss Beer praised Harper's work ethic in AP Latin, but hoped she would grow confident sharing that knowledge because Harper is absolutely stellar Latin student. As a matter of fact, Harper's maintained a 4.0 grade point average, and she's made it not look too difficult. But then there was that opening night of Tuck Everlasting. A young lady glides across the stage, perfect pirouettes, a calm intensity, an undeniable grace. You're forced to keep watching her. I knew it was Harper, but I couldn't believe it was Harper. She is an absolutely phenomenal dancer. For over a decade, Harper has danced competitively and at the highest of levels. She's practiced several hours a week, 50 weeks a year. She fought for positions, she's traveled to competitions, she's performed under pressure. And it was hard on her body and eventually perhaps on her spirit. Harper came to feel that dance was taking more than she was getting, and she bravely stepped away a few years ago to focus more on other areas of interest. We started to notice Harper more at HLS events. She was a presence in the house system with the House of George, a quiet energy, a doer. She got involved, and by the end of her junior year, Harper applied to be the head of house for St. George, a role that put her in front of roughly 60 7th through 12th graders, encouraging, guiding, and leading, and speaking to large groups. The faculty selected Harper to lead the House of St. George, something that I might not have imagined just 3 years ago. But Harper really connects effortlessly with different groups of people. She's always kind, approachable, and caring. And Harper is actually a very free spirit. She's an artist. She picked up playing the piano. She plays the electric guitar. She listens to vinyl records. She loves Fleetwood Mac. She wore a Def Leppard t-shirt to our AP Calculus exam on Monday. And I think she knows who Def Leppard is. She says she does. Harper, who once appeared shy through years of discipline in dance and self-discovery, has become confident, centered, and absolutely ready to thrive. Next year, Harper will attend Villanova University just outside of Philadelphia with plans to major in psychology and cognitive science. Harper would like to be a lawyer someday. Congratulations, Mr. and Mrs. Hume. Thank you for sharing Harper with us. Harper, we will miss you. Congratulations. Ryan Daniel Kimball. Ryan started at HLS in kindergarten. He is one of 6 Kimballs: Anna, Rachel, Trevor, Ryan, Julia, and Tyler. Mr. Hernandez, Ryan's pre-calculus teacher, made a comment to me a few weeks ago that I still don't quite believe. He said that Ryan maintained a perfect score in pre-calculus for the entire year. Not just tests, not just quizzes, not just homework. He never missed a point. He never missed a negative sign, never left a problem unsolved. He never missed a single point. I don't know if that's possible. It still drives me. But when Ryan took the PSAT his junior year, he scored high enough that there was no doubt he would be named a National Merit Finalist. This honor is reserved for less than 1% of all high school juniors, and all we really had to do was get Ryan to take that test. Ryan's academic gifts have been known and admired since he was in kindergarten. In the classroom, Ryan is quiet and he's reserved. Teachers often say that they want more of Ryan's voice, but when they call on him, he delivers great, thoughtful answers. But Ryan is fine to blend in. Ryan has made excelling in the classroom look easy. And like many students today, Ryan is also a great athlete, a 4-year varsity basketball player and a 4-year varsity soccer player. There were times when I wanted Ryan to dominate a soccer game as well. But when he was in 10th grade, a lot smaller and younger, we were in a district tournament game against Wagner, and if we lost, our season was over. A lot of pressure. We were getting pushed around. I was hoping to get to halftime. And then out of nowhere, Ryan, a little small 10th grader, broke through the left side, fought around a defender who was fouling him, and blasted a shot, scored a goal. And then a few minutes later, Ryan did it again, and we were up 2-0 at halftime. Ryan just jogged to the bench and smiled. Game over. That's Ryan. He's always prepared, and if you put him to the test, in class, on the field, or on the court, Ryan will step up. He makes the amazing kind of look easy. Ryan could dominate a lot of discussions, solve problems, and like many of the seniors here, he wants to be part of the group. He wants to be part of the team. And Ryan will always be there for his friends and for his teams when you need him the most. Next year, Ryan will attend Cedarville University, where he plans to major in industrial design. Dr. and Mrs. Kimball, thank you for 13 wonderful years with Ryan. And Ryan, thank you for being someone that we could always count on. Congratulations. William Frank Crumhansel. Will started at HLS in the 9th grade, which is no small task, jumping into a full-time classical Christian curriculum with classmates who have been at HLS for many, many years. But Will blended in quickly, and he found his place. Will is one of 4 Crumhansels, following in the footsteps of his older sister and alum, Sophie, with younger siblings, Ellie and Thomas. Will is very talented, a consistent student. He's maintained a 4.0 GPA throughout high school while working 15 to 20 hours at Chick-fil-A during his junior and senior years. That's very tough. Teachers describe Will as witty, dependable, and a positive contributor to class. Will wrote that he especially enjoyed Mr. Warren's European history class as a junior, and Mr. Warren in turn wrote on his report card, "Thank you, Will, for bailing me out of those moments of uncomfortable silence in my class." But Will doesn't overtake a conversation. His comments are sharp, insightful, and they move the conversation along. Will uses humor and playfulness as a way to energize the class. But behind all of that, Will truly is a scholar, and I believe is ready to excel at the collegiate level. Will has been a 4-year member of the HLS soccer team as well. I didn't give Will enough minutes, and that was my mistake, because when he was on the field, he produced. Will scored more goals per minute played than anyone else on the team, and he never once complained. I kind of wish he did complain. Will is an excellent soccer player and a great passer and a good goal scorer. Will also ran track and field for 3 years and is currently a team captain. Will holds the record in the triple jump, but Will, being humble, came to me and told me that he thinks that record was broken just the other week. But for today, Will holds the record in the triple jump. Will is also quite observant, and in his college questionnaire, Will identified some very specific leadership qualities in former HLS students and team captains. I was very impressed with Will's insights. If Will moves in towards those directions of which he identified in others, Will is going to be ready for an outstanding life. Next year, Will plans to attend the University of Mississippi, where he plans to enroll in a pre-physical therapy program. Thank you, Mr. and Mrs. Crumhansel, for trusting Will with us these past 4 years. And Will, congratulations on a great 4 years at HLS. Jacob Blake Lane, or Jake, as he's known by everyone, or Jakey, as his mom calls him. She said I could say that. Jake has been a student at HLS since kindergarten. He is the youngest of the 3 Lane boys and the big brother to his sister Lily. You might have noticed some slight themes around HLS students as being described as quiet and reserved. Well, that's not the theme around Jake. In fact, it was, I believe, Dr. Scahill wrote again that in a nomination that said, Jake volunteered 4 times in Latin class to offer a translation in Latin, and I don't know if Jake even likes Latin that much, but he's willing to participate. Jake is probably one of the reasons why this class can be so quiet at times. Jake keeps things moving. He keeps things upbeat. It's fitting that Jake is also the drummer for the HLS band No Fun Allowed. Jake's a very skilled drummer. It's a joy to watch him play. Students like Jake, who put themselves on the front lines by first taking on and being engaged, often open themselves up to being judged and critiqued. It takes a person with thick skin to handle the scrutiny that comes with being in the spotlight. And Jake actually does not have a lot of thick skin, and that's not a slight. He's very compassionate. He cares deeply about how others feel and what others think. Jake wants people to be happy. He wants them to have a good time and to enjoy life. But Jake does not like the evaluation that comes with being in the spotlight. However, he keeps showing up there because that is where his class needs him. And that's what takes courage. Jake played basketball for HLS for 4 years and wrote openly about how some failures in basketball were very difficult for him, but he wanted to quit, but he kept showing up. Jake believed that toughened him up as well. So when Jake applied to the Purdue's prestigious engineering program, he got deferred. Most thought that it was over, but Jake and Mrs. Breland just got to work. They wrote additional essays, submitted new materials, and in the course of a week really put together a great appeal. And I'm proud to announce that Jake was ultimately accepted into Purdue's very prestigious engineering program. So it's great when Jake gives so much of himself to the world, and it's beautiful when things work out for Jake as well. Next year, Jake will attend Purdue University, and he will major in mechanical engineering with a minor in economics. Thank you, Dr. and Mrs. Lane, for sharing Jake, or Jakey, with us for the past 13 years. Congratulations, Jake. Baxter Bowen Lowe. Baxter did not start in junior kindergarten. Baxter started junior kindergarten at HLS. You see, Baxter is the oldest of 5. He has 4 younger sisters. But when Baxter was 4 years old, it was time for him to leave the house. Baxter wanted to go to work with his grandfather in the refrigeration business, but his grandmother thought it was best that he learn how to read. So junior kindergarten was created, and Baxter was not happy. But being the oldest grandson of Mrs. Lowe and having both of your parents actively involved in your school life can be tough. And Baxter will admit that balancing school, sports, work, and a social life has not always been easy, because Baxter tends to be very single-minded and stubborn at times. Take, for example, Baxter starting mowing lawns at the age of 12. But unlike most kids, Baxter kept adding clients until by the age of 16, he had a full-time and a part-time seasonal employee and had over 45 lawn accounts. At one point in his junior year, we were wondering, why are Baxter's grades slipping? Well, his grades were slipping because he was taping flashlights to his lawnmower so he can mow lawns late into the evening. Yes, finding that right balance didn't always come natural to Baxter. In soccer, Baxter wanted to be a great soccer player, and he kept working on soccer skills. But he decided early on that fitness, effort, and sheer determination would become his calling card. As a senior, Baxter became a relentless right back on our defense. No one ran harder, no one tackled more fiercely, no one competed with more intensity. No one improved more in 4 years than Baxter. Baxter made himself into a great soccer player. As a senior, Baxter just seems to be a lot more confident now, relaxed, he's grounded. He knows he can do the hard things, like owning a lawn care business and selling it, or willing himself to become a great soccer player. Baxter seems to be turning outward now. He's gracious, helpful, willing to lift others up. I love talking to Baxter because he always speaks so highly of his teachers, always credits everyone for helping him. While he may have felt the pressure to fill some big shoes, I believe that he's not only filled those shoes, he walks in them comfortably. Next year, Baxter will attend Baylor University, where he plans to triple major. Baxter triple major? It was double, but he sent me an email. Triple major in economics, physics, and he's going to study the great books in college. Thank you, Brian and Lee, for all that you do to ensure that HLS continues to be a great school. And congratulations, Baxter. Max Daniel McGar. Max began his HLS career in junior kindergarten with Baxter and Andrew. His older sister Tess graduated a few years ago, and his younger sister Coco will graduate next year. Max is the last senior member of the band No Fun Allowed, and he is the front man. a lead vocalist, guitar player, and pianist, and it's fitting that Max holds this role because Max is a self-proclaimed extrovert. Max will talk with anyone and everyone willing to talk with him. Even those who say, "Max, I'm not in the mood right now," Max will pause, and then he'll say, "But why not? What's wrong?" Max served as the minister of war for the House of David this year, and given that the House of David won the cup, his strategies to earn points for the House clearly worked. Max is competitive. He's been a 4-year member of the HLS golf team, a 3-year varsity basketball player, and he's run track for the last year as well. I think Max is most in his element when he's engaged in a deep conversation, a debate over a wider range of topics. I've seen a lot of high school students debate and argue before, mainly just to be heard, but Max actually listens, and he listens carefully, sometimes to point out a flaw in the other's logic, but also to learn and to understand. Max will alter his views when he's faced with a solid information and good reason. In a sometimes divisive world, I really wish more people would engage in debates like Max with an intent to learn, not just to win. In U.S. history, I could always count on Max to explore not just the what happened, but the why did that happen, or my favorite, what if this had happened, Mr. Wheatley? Max is just a great student. I really appreciated his participation, his creativity, and the kindness that he showed me as a student. Seniors begin to get nostalgic about this process a week or two before graduation, but Max started that process really at the start of the year. I feel like Max just gets it now. Max is so willing to be thankful and appreciate others as well. Max will most likely be that student that you look for on opening school day. Someone that you need positive energy, a big smile, confidence, someone that says, "We got this." I think that's when it will hit me, that a little piece of HLS's heart will be missing next year at opening school ceremony, and that will hurt. But Max has given a lot to HLS, and we are so very, very appreciative. Next year, Max will attend Lipscomb University, where he plans to major in biochemistry with the intention to go to medical school. Thank you, Mr. and Mrs. McGarr, for 4 years of support and kindness. Max, thank you for all that you've given to HLS, and congratulations. August Thomas Monson. August started at Highlands Latin School in the 4th grade. His older sister, Annika, graduated, I think, 3 years ago. August has always been independent, and his independence isn't for show either. August does what he believes is right, and he accepts the reward or the consequences without complaint. Now, this story I'm about to tell is approved by August. Take, for example, the first game of our soccer season. We told the team to arrive in Lexington about an hour before kickoff, and most players left Louisville 2 hours before the game. But August believed he knew that there was a way to Lexington that only took 40 minutes. And August also believes that speed limit signs are a mere suggestions. Unfortunately, the state trooper did not feel the same way. But true to form, I was told that August didn't argue. He took his ticket and just paid close attention to which way the officer was going. And he made it to the game 5 minutes before kickoff. August runs a very successful lawn care business as well, which he started scaling around his sophomore year when Baxter was doing his yards. I once asked August why he and Baxter just did not team up, and he said, "There's not enough money in it, Mr. Wheatley." Over the past 3 years, August has continued to build his business while remaining a full-time HLS student. August is an incredibly hard worker who takes pride in delivering a premium service to his clients. While most classmates are studying and editing papers and preparing for class, August is probably mowing lawns, invoicing clients, and fixing equipment. And yet he still shows up at school right at 7:59 a.m. He turns in his work. He passes classes. August is a very smart young man. Mr. Osterling, his math teacher, said August is so good in math that he could have 100% if he wanted to. But August does not love academics in that way. He loves his classmates, and he loves his soccer teammates. August knows who he is, and he loves what he does. He is a very hard worker. He's responsible, and we are extremely proud of August. So thank you, Mr. and Mrs. Monson, for supporting for supporting us and for being there for August for these last many years. And August is the owner of Lawn and Order, a lawn care service, and has agreed to give me 5% referral fee for any business he earns today. Right, August? Okay, all right. But seriously, if you are looking for work, he's a good guy. August month. Sorry. All right, Luke Owen Murphy. Luke started at Highlands Latin School in the first grade. We will graduate Luke today and welcome his younger sister, Elizabeth, into ninth grade next year. From the beginning, Luke has always been inquisitive, not simply curious, but always a deep thinker and asking why. But like many students, Luke really wants to know what's going to be on the test. Yes, he's asked that. But Luke now is at the point where he doesn't want just the answers. He wants to understand the significance and the why. That hunger to seek the deeper truths, even early in his HLS career, I believe was shaped by his faith. Luke regularly serves at the Shrine of St. Martin of Tours as an altar server, working closely with the clergy before Mass, often assisting with special liturgical events throughout the year as well. His humility and reverence reveal a young man who is rooted in something far greater than himself. Mr. Breland shared a story last year how it was difficult to stir up conversation with these 11th graders in his literature class. But on one particular day, he was just beaming, and it was Luke Murphy. It wasn't that Luke had the right answers, but Luke started to ask the right questions, and Mr. Breland was thrilled. This is what drives discussions, and this is what education is really all about, and they were starting to go that way. When the year began, there was uncertainty as to who would lead the house of Andrew. It was not due to lack of talent, but being head of house is a major commitment. And Luke, already carrying the heaviest academic load in Calculus 3 and AP Physics C, stepped forward and became the head of house for Andrew. With the support of his leadership team, and especially with Mrs. Windhorst, Luke helped deliver a great signature event in November. A campus-wide races for all ages, field games, a Thanksgiving feast in Cook Hall, and thanks to Mr. Lowe, a grand finale of fireworks. It really was an unforgettable night. Luke is also one of the 9 boys up here who's played soccer. We're not going to have a team next year. Luke is one of the 9 boys that's played soccer, and during this season, we were hit with some injuries, and it was Luke that I had to ask to play out of position many, many times, and this is senior year. And Luke would always just say, "Okay, coach, whatever you need." Luke would always say that. "Whatever you need, coach." And I know that he'd rather have played somewhere else, but that's just how he was. Next year, Luke will attend the University of Notre Dame. He's still undecided on his major, but given that he's already taken Calculus 3, AP Physics C, AP Latin, he's an excellent historian, theologian, philosopher. I'm sure that Luke is going to find his way at Notre Dame just fine. Thank you, Dr. and Mrs. Murphy, for sharing Luke with us for these past 12 years. Congratulations, Luke. Oliver Ably Noth. Oliver started at Highlands Latin School in the first grade. His older sister Iris graduated a few years ago, and younger brother Max is currently in grammar school. Oliver is a very interesting student because he really draws no attention to himself, yet he has such a wide array of exceptional skills. It's actually hard to pinpoint exactly who Oliver is. I remember one moment clearly. Oliver must have been in 3rd grade, or 4th perhaps. It was after school, and I was walking on the 3rd floor hall of this building, and I heard music coming from a classroom. I walked by the room that is now Mrs. Lasoy's 1st grade room, and there was Oliver at a white piano, his feet barely touching the pedals, but the music he was playing was absolutely stunning. It was really surreal coming from such a young student. As Oliver moved through the grades, he gained a solid reputation for something else, however, and that was mathematics. Dr. Sewer had him for 8th and 9th grade algebra, I believe, and told me, "Watch out for this one, he's sharp." Oliver took pre-calculus in the summer before his junior year, like Luke did, and some others I'll be discussing, and took BC calculus as a junior. Oliver earned the highest possible score he could on this exam and made it look easy. So Oliver must be the mathematician. But then Oliver applied to the Governor's School for the Arts this past summer as a junior. in the discipline of a piano. It's a very tough application process, but Oliver was accepted. And Oliver wrote about how music has become more than just a hobby for him, and that maybe someday it could be a career. Oliver has quietly practiced the piano for about 7 hours a week since he was 5 years old. That's almost 5,000 hours of piano practice. That is no longer a hobby. That's a discipline and a love. Oliver is also a National Merit finalist. That's a very big deal and a very prestigious honor, but it just felt like, unfortunately, it was a lock for Oliver. Oliver was always a gifted test taker, and the National Merit finalists seemed to just be one of the other things that Oliver has done. Oliver and his friend Ashray also organized a chess club for the students in 2nd through 4th grade at Spring Meadows for the last 2 years. You should not be surprised to know that Oliver is quite an accomplished chess player as well. He says it's just a hobby, but yeah, right. Next year, Oliver will attend Grove City College, where he plans to study applied science and engineering with a minor in music. Thank you, Mr. and Dr. Noth, for your years of support. Congratulations, Oliver. We're going to miss you. Marley Gabriella Presser. Marley started at HLS in kindergarten. Mrs. Booker would rave about this little 4th grade girl named Marley. She described her as one of the most joyful and sweet grammar school students she'd ever seen. When Marley moved up into the upper school, our 7th graders are usually our most enthusiastic group. But as 7th graders get older, school gets a bit harder, life throws curveballs, and sometimes we lose some of that youthful exuberance. But Christ tells us, see the world with childlike wonder. When Marley entered the upper school full of joy, love, and energy, she has never, ever lost that joy and childlike wonder all through the years. The house of David is absolutely stacked with talented leaders, but the role of head of house for David seemed to be waiting for Marley for years. Marley led the house of David to another house cup this year, and they had a lot of strategy, but they also had a ton of spirit, unity, and love. Marley models servant leadership. She trusted her team, used boundless energy to propel the house of David this year. Marley brought the same spirit to field hockey as a 4-year field hockey player. She was team captain this year and goalie. She had an incredible year with 155 saves. You've seen Marley singing beautifully in our cantatas and madrigal choirs over the last 3 years, and she's performed in our drama troops. And the sheer number of teacher recommendations that Marley receives over the years for just the things that she does is staggering. Marley, I know that leading and being who you are and guiding everyone at HLS has not always been easy, as you said, but you were meant to be here. Your parents were guided to you in Guatemala 18 years ago for a reason, and part of that reason was to be here at HLS. And we are so thankful that you are. I'm excited to learn how God will continue to use you throughout your life, and we are so happy that you started here with us. Next year, Marley will attend the University of Kentucky, where she plans to pursue a bachelor's degree in nursing. Thank you, Mr. and Mrs. Presser, for the last 13 years of your support and encouragement. Congratulations, Marley. Max Lowe Sewell. Max began at Highlands Latin School in the 5th grade, and next year we're excited to welcome his younger brother, Whit, into the 9th grade. From the start, Max stood out as independent, confident, and very much his own person. He didn't follow the crowd, but he fit in just fine. He made his own way, he tackled challenges with quiet determination, and he really didn't need a lot of help. But in the last couple of years, we have seen Max grow deeper into something very special. Max seems like he's really come to value fellowship and community much more. It seems that Max is so comfortable in the group and so confident. So who is Max now? Well, he has always been respectful and polite, and he wears a smile, and he's always eager to be part of the class. Max is one of the students who's taken the most rigorous math path that we offer at HLS. Like Luke and Oliver, and soon I'll mention Olivia, he's currently taking or has taken Calculus 3. When Mr. Osterling gives a big test in Calculus 3, and I ask the students how they're going to do, I get 3 answers. From Luke, I get, I don't know. And from Olivia, I get, I don't know. But from Max, I get a big grin and a smile that says, we got this. And he usually adds Mr. Breland's famous line, too easy. But after one exam, I asked Max how it went, and he was all smiles, and he said, that was not easy. but he was laughing. Last year, Max took a job as a waiter at the Forum at Brookside, the assisted living facility that's right behind our school. It's not a job that comes with a playbook or formulas. Max wrote that working at the Forum forced him to rely on others and to let others rely on him. Serving can be frustrating and thankless, and when something goes wrong, you're going to get yelled at. But Max learned how to stay calm, support his team, to do his best, and to serve well, always smiling. Next year, Max will attend the University of Kentucky, where he plans to major in chemical engineering. Thank you, Mr. and Mrs. Sewell, for the last 8 years with Max. Max, you've been a delight to teach and to get to know. Please come back and see us. Congratulations, Max. Shiloh Oreen Smero. Some moments stay with you for all your life, and you don't know why, but they just kind of do. I still see Shiloh in kindergarten every Tuesday and Thursday morning walking up to the glass doors at the Crescent Hill Baptist Church with her parents. At first, they'd walk her to the door and up the stairwell into the gym, and I could tell it was hard for them to let Shiloh go. But in time, they would stop at the glass doors, and Shiloh would keep going. In 6th grade, we got to see Shiloh after school with her grandmother, who had been diagnosed with Alzheimer's. It was a very, very hard season for her family. But Shiloh was so calm and steady and patient. She would share snacks, speak gently to her grandmother. If it's possible to deeply feel how much Shiloh loved her grandmother, you could. The interaction was just love. The memories of the challenges we parents face at letting go and loving someone with all your hearts, they're going to stick with me forever, and a lot of that has to do with Shiloh. Throughout her high school career, Shiloh has just maintained a truly gracious spirit, a type of goodness that's just uncommon. Shiloh will tell a classmate when they're out of line or disrespectful, but she does it with a gentle nature, and it's from a place of love. It never feels harsh. It's not a rebuke. Students don't argue, they just kind of change. Shiloh has worked very hard in the classroom, maintaining excellent grades while impressing Mrs. Beer in AP Latin with her perseverance and effort to do the hard things, because Shiloh did not have to take AP Latin. She just wanted to take AP Latin. Or Mr. Hernandez in pre-calculus referring to Shiloh's diligence and thoroughness. Even when math got really hard, Shiloh just came in for extra tutoring. Shiloh is also an outstanding center fielder on the HLS softball team. She ran track and field. She's part of the HLS 4x400 relay team that made state last year, and I believe she's part of the 4x800 relay team that just made state. Shiloh is not flashy, she's not loud, she's not in your face, but she is memorable. I know that her grandmother's looking down today, very thankful how Shiloh cared for her and very proud of the person Shiloh is today. Thank you, Roxanne and Jeff, for letting Shiloh be part of our lives. Next year, Shiloh will attend Bellarmine University, where she plans to major in psychology. Congratulations, Shiloh. Caitlin Millie Smith. Callie is one of her 4 siblings in her family. Gabe is the oldest, followed by Callie, Charlotte, and Elijah. Callie has been at Highlands Latin School since kindergarten, and from early on, one could tell that Callie is a teacher at heart. That gift began to shine when her mother became an owner of a dance studio. Callie has been dancing since the age of 5, and for more than a decade, she has practiced and performed with poise and excellence. Dance has shaped her deeply, cultivating not just grace and balance, but also discipline, confidence, and resilience. She learned to manage the demands of dance alongside HLS coursework and friendships, and that wasn't always easy. In the classroom, Callie is a model student, hardworking, focused, and thorough. Both Mr. Schaefer and Mr. Osterling praised her diligence and maturity, qualities that are not just rooted in dance, but also in her faith as well. Callie writes about her father's faithfulness and how he prays openly and without hesitation with anyone in need, and how his faith has allowed Callie to express her faith so generously as well, especially in the morning prayer groups that Callie will help to lead. That trust in God's goodness has become part of Callie's foundation. helping her push through those tough math assignments or long weekends at the dance studio. But now Callie mainly teaches dance to young students, and while her dance schedule is lightened, Callie is now preparing for the next act in her life. She writes very well about the great teachers who have poured into her life, and she is already forming her own vision of what kind of teacher she wants to be. A teacher who cheers her students on in good moments, and a teacher who gently supports them in the hard ones. She wants to create a place where children succeed and also can fail, but a space that is built on joy, trust, and love. Callie has even asked Mrs. Luce for permission to observe grammar and primary school classes this year. She's not just dreaming about teaching, she's doing the hard work now to become a great teacher. Next year, Callie will attend Samford University, where she plans to study early childhood education. Callie, there will always be a job waiting for you here at HLS if we are ever lucky enough to have you return to us. Thank you, Mr. and Mrs. Smith, for 13 wonderful years, and congratulations, Callie. Joseph Andrew Vanderwoody. Joey. Joey started at Highlands Latin School in 9th grade. He's one of the 14 Vanderwoody siblings, following in the footsteps of Sean and Brendan. We didn't get them all. And today he graduates alongside his twin brother, Josh. I remember vividly Joey and Josh testing to get into HLS 4 years ago. Their personalities couldn't have been more different. Afterwards, I seemed to mix up my notes, and I was having trouble remembering if Joey or Josh was the quiet one. So I asked their older brother, Sean, who was still at HLS, and he laughed. He said, "Oh, that's very easy. Joey won't talk, and Josh won't shut up." But Joey is quiet. But he shows up, he does what's expected, he never makes a big deal about much. He earned good grades at a tough school, but you never catch him stressing too much over a quiz or begging for partial credit. Joey just takes things calmly, and honestly, that is quite refreshing. What matters most to Joey are the deeper things: faith, family, and purpose. His faith gives him a bigger picture, and before you think he's just a laid-back thinker, Joey is one of the hardest workers I've ever seen during the summer at HLS. When the boys were installing the turf field for Mr. Lowe in the brutal heat in June and July, many of our students and workers would slip away for breaks, but not Joey. Joey would stay there and he would work and work. And when others would take those breaks, Joey never complained. He would scold them for being gone for too long, but Joey always would work. Joey played 4 seasons on the soccer team, and he was our goalie, and for 3 seasons he backed up Danny, and he did so with humility and a team-first spirit. This year, even when the minutes were limited, he showed up, he supported his teammates, and he made a difference. I really enjoyed coaching Joey. He was always respectful, helpful, and funny. Joey reminds us it's okay to keep life simple, to stay rooted in the things that matter the most. While many chase recognitions and constant validation, Joey lives a little differently. He doesn't strive to be noticed, but he is noticed. He doesn't strive to be loud, yet his presence always matters. Joey's simplicity isn't a limitation at all. It's a quiet strength. It's a clarity of his purpose. And Joey is going to be absolutely fine in life. He's a hard worker. He's a loyal friend. He's a good student. And he will remain faithful to God. Next year, Joey will attend Franciscan University with a plan to major in software engineering. Congratulations, Joey. Joachim Vanderwoody. He knew I was going to mess it up. You stand up, Josh. Before Brendan's graduation 2 years ago, Josh made sure to tell me that I got the total number of Vanderwoody siblings wrong in Sean's speech. I said 13, but Josh said there was 14. I felt bad, and I corrected that mistake, and I was thankful for Josh. But then while preparing for this speech, I glanced at Josh's college application, and he only listed 5 siblings. Joey, you didn't even make the cut. I think Josh probably got busy. Josh runs on full throttle all the time. He's got about 20 plates spinning at all times, and he's hard to slow down. He played 4 seasons on the soccer team, and I would assign him to a position, define the role, and within minutes, Josh would be everywhere. But he wasn't chasing glory or ignoring instructions. Josh just had to be where the action was. Josh wears his heart on his sleeve, and he plays through constant back pain and hip pain through most of his HLS career. I could only take him out when Josh's body gave out, and he had some really great games over our years at HLS. Josh also runs track, and last year I watched him run the 400-meter at the state, and it's a brutal race. Mr. Osterling told me that you're not supposed to sprint the whole thing, but Josh did. When the gun went off, Josh took off like it was a 100-meter dash, and I thought, oh no. By the halfway mark, Josh was still sprinting. With 100 meters left, I thought he was going to fall over, but he didn't. He kept going, gave it everything he had, and collapsed at the end. His time in that race earned him 9th place in the state, and that was a big upset. That's Josh. He is all heart, and he's all in. In the classroom, Josh is a strong student. He loves theology and history and never turns down a good debate. Josh is passionate about what he believes. On a college survey, Mrs. Breland asked the seniors to list their favorite movie, and Josh wrote Braveheart. And I looked at that, I said, that film came out 12 years before Josh was born, but it fits. William Wallace fought for freedom, not power, because he refused to live quietly after an injustice of his wife being killed. That's Josh. He lives the same way. He wants to drive out evil and replace it with what is good. He's ready for the fight. Next year, Josh will attend Franciscan University to study history and philosophy, to keep pursuing the good and the true. Thank you, Mr. and Mrs. Vanderwoody, and for Josh and Joey. We love having them here at HLS the last 4 years. Congratulations, Josh. All right, almost. Logan Wayne Vickery. Logan, okay, sorry. Logan has attended Highlands Latin School since kindergarten. His older sister Olivia graduated 3 years ago, and his younger sister Clara still has a little time before graduation. Logan is one of the more academically gifted students here on stage. He has a brilliant mind for math and science, and especially with physics, and his sharp analytical way of thinking serves him well in history and philosophy. He's a standout academic student, but what really sets him apart is the way he balances intellect with energy, discipline with joy, and leadership with humility. Logan is also one of those big personalities, confident, engaging. He's full of life. He can entertain a class with a quick joke or a clever comment, even when it's not exactly needed sometimes. I still remember Logan when he was in the 5th grade. He would wait outside the office, just outside of room 211, and we'd have to close the door because Logan was just so loud sometimes. But that voice hasn't quieted down. It's just matured into something more powerful, something that can lead, comfort, and inspire. This year, Logan was chosen by the faculty to serve the House of Patrick. At the induction ceremony, he delivered a speech that was thoughtful, heartfelt, and strong, and he only had a few notes in his hand. He captured the spirit of what it was to be in the House of Patrick. It was inspirational. I was ready to paint myself green after he spoke. The ability to speak the truth and inspire others, that's in Logan's DNA. Logan has watched his father preach for years, and that gift of communication definitely did not skip a generation, because Logan has it. Outside of the classroom, Logan has spent 4 years on the track and field teams and running cross country. Logan has also started weight training 4 years ago. He trains 6 days a week, pretty much year-round, he tells me. That level of commitment has transformed Logan from what he called a scrawny freshman into an extremely fit and strong young man. I think that also has shaped his character. Logan doesn't just talk about discipline and commitment. He has lived it, at least for the last 4 years. But what is most impressive is how Logan uses his gift to serve others. Whether he's doing the grunt work of moving stage pieces for the House of Patrick talent show or staying late after the house meeting to encourage younger students, Logan is simply a natural leader. Next year, Logan will attend the University of Kentucky to study mechanical engineering. Thank you, Dr. and Dr. Vickery. Congratulations, Logan. Olivia Elizabeth Vonderheide. Olivia started at Highlands Latin School in junior kindergarten, or last of our junior kindergarten. She's the middle child in her family, a younger sister to Mary Claire, who graduated a few years ago, and big sister to Charlie. Olivia has been playing field hockey since the second grade and has become a defining part of her life. But Olivia isn't just a strong player, she's a standout player. She competes for the HLS team, but she plays on travel teams and participates in tournaments, sometimes quite far away. Some students devote their afternoons to music or dance or part-time jobs, but I doubt anyone has devoted more time and more hours to training than Olivia has for field hockey. But what makes Olivia exceptional isn't just her athletic commitment. It's the way that she balances it with her academic excellence. 2 years ago, when Dr. Sewer asked Olivia if she would be interested in taking pre-calculus over the summer with the goal of moving into BC calculus, it seemed to me that Olivia was thrilled, at least honored, and she was beaming ear to ear. There was just one challenge: summer field hockey. Olivia's training schedule was demanding, but somehow she made it work. She had field hockey practice late into the evenings, and she had pre-calculus early in the morning. In between, she had to figure out homework and everything else. That was her rhythm for much of the summer. Olivia is not the most vocal student in class, but her academic performance speaks for itself. She maintains high grades, strong test scores, and earned a placement in the most advanced math course at HLS, proving to everyone that Olivia could absolutely hold her own. The first time I noticed Olivia on the field hockey field was her sophomore year. A senior cleared the ball from deep in her territory. It was probably her sister. It found its way to the midfield where Olivia received it, and she just weaved through defenders, glided with the ball like it was glued to her stick, and rockets the shot into the goal. That's how Olivia plays. She plays smooth, fast, she's powerful. Olivia has earned first-team All-State honors her sophomore, junior, and senior year. She finished among the top scorers in the state the last 3 years as well, and was named one of Kentucky's top performers by field hockey analysts as a junior. Olivia enjoyed an amazing career on the field and in the classroom. She was a star in both worlds. Next year, Olivia will attend Center College, where she will continue to play field hockey, and she plans to major in psychology and minor in neuroscience. Thank you, Mr. and Mrs. Vonderheide, for allowing us to be part of Olivia's life these last 14 years. Congratulations, Olivia. Caroline Faith White. Caroline has been a part of Highlands Latin School since kindergarten. She's half of a twin pair. While she and her sister Hannah share a close and loving bond, they've always walked a slightly unique path, but never stray far from one another. Academically, Caroline has always leaned a bit more towards math and science, and when I learned that she planned to pursue a career in pharmacy, it made perfect sense. She's precise, analytical, disciplined, but those traits alone don't define her. This year, while working at a local pharmacy, Caroline wrote about how an encounter with a customer who was virtually inconsolable and angry with her that she would not fill her prescription because it was too early to get the prescription refilled. Caroline could have responded by quoting a policy, calling someone else, or just brushing the customer aside. Instead, she showed something much more powerful: compassion and empathy. Caroline saw her pain, and the ability to see another person's problems and to feel their pain is a special gift. I don't think we often associate pharmacists or surgeons with needing to have the best bedside manners. We want them to be accurate, decisive, and efficient, but I hope Caroline never loses that warmth and that empathy, because it really is those traits that will have the biggest impact on others in her life. Caroline is also a strong athlete. She runs on the track team for 4 years, competing in the 4x200 and 4x400 relays, and has been part of the cross-country team the past 2 years. I've always been told that Caroline is always prepared, but she really is the biggest cheerleader on her team. At last year's state track meet, Ula had a false start in the 100-meter hurdles. I didn't know this, but it calls for an immediate disqualification. I was very upset, but I also remember walking over towards Ula, and standing right in front of me was Caroline, who intercepted me with a hand that said, "Not right now." And also she flashed a very warm and comforting look that said, "I got this." And she did. Caroline, you bring peace and comfort and steadiness wherever you go. We're going to miss your strong work ethic, your discipline, your business life approach in the classroom, but we're also not going to we'll have a hard time replacing that compassion and care that you've shown to your friends and to your teachers. That's why I don't look back. Next year, Caroline will attend the University of Kentucky to study human health sciences, and she'll be on a pre-pharmacy track. Congratulations, Caroline. Hannah Grace White. Hannah also started in kindergarten. She and Caroline are the big sisters to their little brother, Garrett. Is he here? Oh, there he is. I thought Garrett would be calculating the square footage of his sister's rooms right now, trying to figure out where he's going to be moving. But yeah. But while Caroline moves towards the math and science, Hannah bends towards literature, poetry, and composition. Their opposite academic interests might suggest they have little in common, but that would be far, far from the truth. They share a very, very special, loving bond, and it makes me smile every day just to see them together. Hannah's 9th grade literature teacher, Miss Willis, once wrote, "Hannah is a sheer delight to teach, especially her poetry. She has been a blessing." Dr. Scahill thanked Hannah just for the privilege of reading her writing. Mr. Breland also praised her writing style, but also strongly encouraged her to keep writing poetry. Hannah's gift for writing and her eye for poetry have caught the attention of many HLS teachers. I'm grateful that they've encouraged her to continue this God-given gift. She writes with feeling and clarity. Her words are careful. She doesn't try to impress, but she tries to reveal something that's honest and true. Hannah really does have a mind and a voice of a writer and a poet. One day, I believe that we will all have a chance to see the world through Hannah's words, and we'll all be better for it. Hannah has been a faithful member of the HLS Poetry Club since 10th grade and served as co-editor this year. She's also been an invaluable member to the yearbook staff, also serving as co-editor this year. Each summer, Memorial Press hosts a large conference where teachers from across the country come to Spring Meadows to learn about classical education. Visitors are always impressed with the HLS students who help at the conference. We get the question, how do you train them to be helpful, courteous, and so sincere? And we tell them, we hire and ask students like Hannah White to represent us all 4 years. She makes us look that good because she is that good. Next year, Hannah will attend Cedarville University to major in English with the hopes of writing and editing in the future. Mr. and Mrs. White, thank you for sharing 2 exceptional daughters with us for the past 13 years. It's been our privilege to be with them. Hannah and Caroline, please come back and visit your parents, please, especially your mom. I work with her. But honestly, I would love to see you as well. Congratulations, Hannah.
Catherine Elizabeth Baum. Asher Daniel Bittner. Benjamin James Bittner. Parker James Boyd. Chloe Calloway Cruz. Hannah Gail Davis. Molly Louise Denley. Ula Christina Dodd. Willem Clark Ergel. Andrew George Giltner. Jonathan Charles Herod. Harper Malloy Hoon. Ryan Daniel Kimball. William Frank Crumhansel. Jacob Blake Lane. Baxter Bowen Lowe. Max Daniel McGarr. August Thomas Monson. Luke Owen Murphy. Oliver Ali Noth. Marley Gabriella Presser. Max Lowe Sewell. Shiloh Oreen Smero. Caitlin Millie Smith. Joseph Andrew Vanderwoody. Joshua Joachim Vanderwoody. Logan Wayne Vickery. Olivia Elizabeth Vonderheide. Carolyn Faith White. Hannah Grace White.
Hear now these words of benediction and blessing. As you go, remember, in the goodness of God, you are brought into this world. By the grace of God, you have been kept to this very minute. And by the love of God, you are being redeemed. So may God take your minds and think through them. May God take your lips and speak through them. And may God take your hearts and love through them. In the name of God, our Creator, Christ, our Redeemer, and the Holy Spirit, our Comforter. Amen. Soli Deo Gloria. To God alone be the glory. Amen.
Well, before I present the 2025 HLS graduates, I'd like to just thank you for being here today and sharing in this very special day with us. And after I present the graduates up front here, we'll have plenty of time for pictures. There is a reception right outside. Is it still outside here? I'm thinking it is, yes. Okay. There's a reception right outside, and we'd love for you all to be there. Seniors, I believe there's some T-shirts outside too that we would like to give you to pick up. So, without further delay, I would like to have our 2025 class to stand and recognize our Highlands Latin School 2025 graduating class. We'll have the seniors come down for some closer pictures. Parents, you can come closer and take some pictures as well. Seniors, I think we practiced this. We'll see if it works.